Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to go over using data presets to make an easy resettable object. You might need an easily resettable object when you're doing games design and you want an object to return back to a set location. A good example here is a key, where you want a key to be found, say, in a box or on a table, and you want that key to return to that location when the next group of players starts around so that it doesn't get lost, it doesn't get misplaced, and users can still find it where it should be. I come up with this a lot, and so I wanted to come up with an easier way to do it because I found it difficult to manage historically, because I had to do sort of set location, set rotation, set position, all that stuff using Logix nodes. Using data presets, you can actually do this a lot more easily. I'll show you what I mean, and hopefully you can use this in some of your games. Let's hop into Smooth POV here. This idea is purely thanks to the addition of data presets that can target references. Without this, we wouldn't be able to do it, so thank you to the team for adding that quite a while ago, but I'm just covering this now. So in this theoretical setup that I've got here, I've got a plinth with a sphere on the top of it. Let's say that this is a key item that players need to progress in the game, but it needs to be returned to this plinth when the next group of players come through. So, one group of players comes through and they grab it and they move it around, they take it to wherever it needs to go, and the next group come here and it's not there anymore, like they can't progress, they're stuck. Let's instead make it so that you can reset this. To set this up, first of all, go ahead and grab the object and put it to where it needs to be if it's not there already. We'll say there's about good enough. Inspect the object, so I'm going to go ahead and inspect it by using secondary and the developer tooltip, opening the inspector here, and then you'll see it in the inspector. I'm now going to hit up. The reason we do this is because what it does is it specifies two slots. One is the actual object, and one is where the object should be located, and it handles everything for you. You'll see that this sphere has been reset to position, rotation, and scale of 0, 0, 1, so there's no complexity here, but the object above it has been set to the world position, the rotation, and the scale value for where that object should be when it gets reset. So I'm going to rename this sphere parent slot to be sphere-reset location. And you'll see why this is beneficial in just a moment. And now we're going to go ahead and create that reset operation. I like to create this on the reset location itself so that I can come to the location it should be and reset it manually if need be. If you create it on the object, then you need to go find that object, which is no good. But I create it on the reset location, so just come to the place it should be. So again, here we're going to select the sphere reset location, hit the star, which will create a child. And then we'll just set the name of this slot to be data preset. So sphere data preset. And then we need to add some data presets to it. In the video description, you'll find my data preset tutorial. I don't go over data presets that involve references because they weren't out at the time I was recording this video. Now that they are, this is what's enabling this setup to happen, which I mentioned before. So I'm going to skim over some details, but do check the data preset video in the video description if you have any questions. So I'm going to go to attach component, data, presets, data preset, and then we'll need 4 data presets. 3 of those will be values and 1 will be references. So we're going to go to attach component, data, presets, data preset value, and we'll need 2 float 3s. So I'm going to create one here, float 3, and I'm going to duplicate it. This will be the position, and this will be the scale. We'll need a float q, which is for the rotation. So that's data presets, data preset value, and then float q is right at the bottom, unfortunately. So there it is, float q. So now we've got position, scale, rotation, and then we'll need that data preset, data reference preset. So that's data presets, data preset reference, and then type slot in here, SLOT, and hit go. And then at the top of the data presets here, hit add all children. That'll add all those into the list, and then we don't need to worry about it. And now we need to set this up. So what we do here is we set the scale one to be the scale that we want the object to be. This is going to be 1, 1, 1. We leave the position as 0, 0, 0, and that's because of the data preset reference you'll see in just a moment. And now we just need to set up the target fields for all of these. To do that, grab the sphere, point to some empty space and spawn a second inspector for it, and then we can start hooking this up. So for the position, we want that to be reset back to 0, 0, 0, which it is at the moment. So we can go ahead and grab position and drop it into data preset value float. And then for the scale, we want it to be 1, 1, 1, 1. So we grab scale and drop that into scale. For the rotation, we want that to be 0, 0, 0, or at least the quaternary equivalent of that. So we can drop rotation into the float q. Now for the slot here, It's a little bit confusing because we need to specify both the preset reference and the target reference, and those can get a little bit confused. The target reference is the value the reference we want to set, and the preset reference is the reference we want to set the target reference to. So we want the target reference to be the parent property of the sphere, which is right at the top here. So we grab parent and we drop that into target reference. And then we want the preset reference to be the sphere reset location, which we created earlier. And there we go. Now with that created, we've got a easy to use reset system. I'm going to go ahead and grab this sphere and take it across the map and rotate it and also scale it. So, players have been messing around with it, and I'm going to come back to the plinth as a, game developer or maybe a GM for a map and be like, oh no, where's the sphere? We need it to complete the map. With the data preset here, I can just hit set active, and the sphere will jump back to the plinth, and you'll see it's also parented to that plinth using that reset location, which means that I know exactly where it is and I can see it. If you want to improve on this, you can also use Logix. To use standard tools here, not my own face. So I'm going to go ahead and spawn a Logix tooltip here from Essential Tools. To use Logix with this, you can use the data presets capability to be triggered by Logix. To do this, we need a Logix tooltip, which I just spawned. Grab the data preset, turn to some empty space, and hit secondary, and you'll get the data preset interface card. And then you can pull out a ribbon from this set active property here by putting in the tip, holding trigger, and pushing secondary. And then this pulse will activate that preset. So, oh no, we've lost the sphere. Pulse, it's back to where it needs to be. What I'll often do is combine this with a dynamic impulse receiver of type reset. I go over dynamic impulse receivers in a different video, which is quite long and complicated, but this should be a simple use case of that. So to do this, go to Node Browser, follow dynamic impulse receiver, spawn that, connect that to the set active. For the string value here, the tag, put your tip in, hold primary, secondary, and then type reset in here. Now that that's done, we can pack up this Logix. So I'm going to pack this up into the data preset here by grabbing data preset, set packing route, and then holding secondary on these nodes. And this one too. And you'll see that the Logix goes away. We can delete this reference card. And now what I can do is I can call to the entire map with that reset impulse receiver, and it will reset everything on the map. So this is good, and it will show the complexity of this, because if I duplicate my sphere reset location setup, and I say, hey, we've got now a row of spheres, let's say they're, the 3 keys to get us through a door, and all 3 of them are messed up and, off in the map and we don't know where they are, I can then use somewhere else a dynamic impulse trigger to reset them. I'll create this manually, but you could hook this up to a button or use any other system that you want. So in Flow, we go to dynamic impulse trigger. We can pull out a node here and hit secondary, which is the pulse. The tag, pull out a node here and set this to be reset. For the slot here, I'd recommend using the games hierarchy within the world, or the world hierarchy, or maybe the rooms hierarchy. Don't use root slot. For this particular tutorial world, it's fine, but do avoid using root slot wherever possible. But having said that, we'll use root slot today. And plug that in. And now when I hit pulse, you'll see they all return to those 3 locations that we had. And we can even put our pillars underneath them. And there we go. We've got the 3 keys for the puzzle map we're building or something. So I can grab this one, put it over there, grab that one, that's in the floor, grab that one, it's all the way over there. We don't know where they are, we need to reset the game, pulse, and they're all back to exactly where they need to be. I hope you found this useful. Do let me know what you think, or if you've got any questions. There are some links in the video description, as always, that link to other topics such as dynamic impulse trigger, and also a larger overview on data presets. I found this super useful to use in an update to the laser beam map, which was my MMC entry, so I'll also link that in the video description just in case you're interested. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.